You're probably familiar with Boolean operations as a way to create complex vector shapes by merging or subtracting simple ones. In this tutorial, we will learn about the Fusion tool, which offers you a totally different approach to creating vector objects. It is based on combining multiple objects into one. Let's create a wavy path using the Fusion tool. Since semi-waves look like halves of ovals, we will use ovals as building blocks. 4 of them will be enough. The ovals must be aligned vertically and snapped horizontally one to another so they touch only at one point. The Fusion tool requires the paths to be perfectly aligned. There's another important rule. The Fusion tool works with closed shapes, and the shapes must overlap. So we have to add a rectangle that will serve the body for a shape whose top will be wavy. We'll delete it later. The Fusion tool can edit only objects that are selected. In this way, we select the ovals and rectangle and then activate the Fusion tool. There are several options at the bottom of the screen. Let me explain their meanings before we move on. The tool has 2 modes that can be activated using these buttons. The Merge mode joins overlapping parts of shapes. The Erase mode deletes parts of shapes. If we draw with the tool across shapes, the app will detect the underlying part of a shape and highlight it. Depending on the mode, such an area will be added to a new shape or it will be removed. A new shape created with the Fusion tool can either inherit its stroke and fill properties from the first shape, or you can choose a new stroke and fill. That is controlled by this switch. Let's turn it off. You can see that the stroke and fill of the first shape are being applied to other areas. In order to merge shapes, we draw with the tool from one shape into another. The tool should touch all areas that we want to connect. It is safe to draw across the same area multiple times. You can also stop drawing and then continue from a different point. Now we can switch to the Erase mode to remove these 2 ovals. Now back to that wavy path we mentioned earlier. To do this, we will remove the lower part of the shape's outline. That's all. Let's take a more interesting example. I'm going to create an icon in the style that is often used for vector clip art. Such icons are usually black and have no stroke. For that, we need to activate the Use Color option. The color buttons at the bottom open stroke and fill settings are very similar to the properties located in the Appearance panel. To learn more about these properties, watch the tutorial about working with colors. Now we're going to hide the stroke and then choose black as the fill color. Let's start merging parts that will create the icon. Then we're going to erase the unneeded elements. The second part of the icon is a bit more complicated. You can see that the Fusion tool allows us to use a straight line or unclosed path. But such a path must form a closed area together with other paths or shapes. This line is used to terminate a spiky element that is created with 2 ovals. We're almost done. If you see a bottle and a gun here, you're close. Have another look after moving the upper part to the right place. It is a cleaning spray. We can now create highlights on the bottle's side with 2 rounded rectangles. In order to speed up your work, you can use the following gesture. While you're in the Merge mode, hold your finger on the screen to switch to the Erase mode. After detaching your finger, you will return to the Merge mode. Finally, let's create something nice and colorful. The Use Colors option allows us to use different colors for different areas. This makes it possible to color an image with the Fusion tool. Notice that I prepared a set of colors beforehand. You can do the same in order to stick to a fixed palette. I hope you've learned something new from this tutorial. Have fun and get creative with the Fusion tool.